8th day in the month of December, year 2025. Studio time check is 9:36 a.m. I am Usman Apaya, your presenter on your favorite morning show, the Badeggi Radio Link. Welcome you on board. On the program today, we shall be taking a look at the recent Court of Appeal judgment on banning of Court of Appeal judgment banning the vehicle inspectoral officers of Niger State of Nigeria from impounding vehicle and of course confiscation of vehicle license. And of course, to do justice to this discussion, we have in the studio Dr. Mohammed Allah Dibako, the Director and Chief Executive Officer of the Niger State Motor Vehicular Administration Agency, popularly called the VIO. You're welcome to the program, Doctor.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you very much. Well, recently there is there is a confusion on ground on this court of appeal verdict on that says that VIO have been banned from actually impounding vehicle and of course confiscation of vehicle licenses across the country, and this has been generating a confusion. So you need to please help us clear the air so that motorists could now know what is happening. What is this judgment all about, and how does it cover the whole country?
Thank you very much. That is the reason why we are here. The Court of Appeal, we are here to dispel the rumor that the judgment is for all the VIOs of the Federation.
Okay, so it's a rumor that
to dispel the news that the judgment is for all VIOs of the Federation, because the judgment is only for Federal Capital Territory, Abuja.
Okay.
And it's because motor vehicle administration is practically a residual issue of each state of the Federation and FCT. So each state of this Federation are supposed to get their law passed by the various states House of Assembly and then being accented to by the executive governor of each state of the Federation. And that of FCT is a law that has to be passed by the National Assembly and accented to by the president, because it is the territory is a federal capital territory region, which means it's a federal government region. So they have not they are making effort to ensure that they have their own law passed and assented to, but they have not done that. And that is why the Court of Appeal has once again reaffirmed the judgment of the Federal Court. They are also working on it to ensure that their law is passed and assented to by the president, said that they can be able to work effectively in that regard. Now we have a national body that is called Directors, Chief Road Traffic Officers of the Federation, and for the purpose of clarification, they made a press release regarding that, which is all over the platforms, the media platforms. The paragraph which concerns us, which I want to make emphasis on, actually stated that for the avoidance of doubt, motor vehicle administration, including vehicle inspection, registration and licensing and certification, driver training and testing, traffic monitoring, enforcement of traffic laws and regulation, road transport control, as well as motor vehicle threats and regulation, as well as association of all collective fee, collection fee in this regard, is a residual matter under the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. This means that the state government retain the constitutional authority to enact and enforce laws guiding these activities within their jurisdiction. And you are aware that exclusive legislation is that of the federal government, residual matter is that of the state, and the concurrent is the one that both state and federal can regulate on. Incidentally, issue that has to do with motor vehicle administration, vehicle inspection, and all enforcement is actually a residual matter of the state. So here in Niger State, in many other states, Lagos, Delta, Adamawa, so many states have moved on, have gotten their own law. But before getting their own law, the job of licensing and testing, which constitute motor vehicle administration, was actually being carried out by the Nigerian police force. And we've been repeating that all along. So while it was called road traffic ordinance, the Nigerian police was using what is called the road traffic ordinance. And until in 1962, when the Constitution of Nigeria was ready, and we became a republic, and the job was transferred to the regions. Motor vehicle administration job was transferred to the region. Remember, then we have the northern region, eastern region, and western region. And the north was using cap 118, the eastern region was using cap 116, and the western was using cap 115. Those are the road traffic laws. And in those road traffic laws, where every region is supposed to have central motor registry, and in the central motor registry, we'll have the principal licensing officer, who is a VIO. We also have the principal inspector of motor vehicle, who is a VIO. There are two forms of license. If you want to license for the registration of vehicle, you want to license for a driver to be able to drive. Test will be done, and if it's for registration, the vehicle will be checked. Ascertainment will be made regarding the features of the vehicle and the condition of the vehicle, and the approval will be sent to licensing authority. Then the vehicle can be registered, and of course, inspection for condition for roadworthiness is also being carried out. So the combined effect of both principal licensing and inspector of vehicles is that of the chief road traffic officer, which we have grown over time, and we are improving of the efficiency of operations of that particular mandate. And in 2021, the regions became states, and in 2021, the Niger State was able to have its law passed by the State House of Assembly and accented to by the then governor of the state. So the law is Niger State Law number 18, 2021, a law established and a law to establish an agency for motor vehicle administration and for all other matters connected to. So the content of this law is very, very important for clarity. Section 20, first and foremost, Section 20 of the agency says, in the exercise of the functions conferred on the agency, members of the agency shall have powers to arrest and hand over traffic offenders reasonably suspected to have committed any offense that is prescribed under the second schedule. Second schedule are actually the offenses. So to be more specific in this is that they can arrest any suspected person committed to have impound any vehicle which have committed this particular offense, remove an impound vehicle which has been parked in a manner that has caused obstruction on the highway, and then also put rickety vehicles off the road, and also declare any offender wanted, and so many other sections that have empowered the operations of the agency. Section 25 also says that the agency shall exercise its jurisdiction and operational powers in the entire state, and for the purpose of proper, efficient, and effective administration and operation of its function. Under this law, the agency shall create operational areas in all the local government areas of the state. So this had already been done and existing. That is why our men can be found anywhere within the state. So in the case of Niger State, you can see that we are empowered, just like Lagos State. Lagos State, so many other states have come out to refute, apart from the press release, that that judgment is only meant for FCT. And I think those who made the judgment, they have taken note of that. And that is why you can see, other than FCT, all other places in Nigeria, VIOs are operating conveniently and comfortably, because they are supported by the varying state laws that have empowered them to do so.
So, okay, for the benefit of doubt and for the benefit of very good understanding, I think you have to say it again that the appeal court judgment that bar VIO from confiscating of license and impounding car does not have effect in Niger State.
It does not. It only set in FCT alone, and they are. And the reason why it's so, as I have said, they have not been able to get their law passed by the National Assembly and then assented to by the President. And they are making effort in that regard. If we want to go by the history, you see, once it has to do with vehicular movement, safety, whether the revenues that are going to be driven in that direction, compliance has to be enforced. Even when the police were doing it, that's why you see enforcement is a peculiar nature with the police. So even when the police were, before it was transferred to the regions and now the states, there has to be enforcement. So the mandate of this agency is three segments. Actually, the motor registry and those aspects that has concern with the motor registry, the vehicle trade administration. The last part of this enforcement, which is violations. There has to, otherwise people will not comply. You can see rickety vehicle, you can see so many things. The revenue that are supposed to be earned in that regard will not come without enforcement. And recall that those who are going to serve as VIOs has to be professional. They are always professional people. It's not just anybody that is not trained in that direction that you can bring to come and do enforcement in that regard, because the result will not be obtained. Anybody who is going to wear the uniform of VIO is professionally trained. He knows what is required of him to be able to do that enforcement. And that is why, if you look at Nigerian police also, you will see that so many, the Nigerian Custom, the Nigerian Immigration Service, the DSS, all other security agencies seems to have been inborn to be more professionally in their new agencies to be able to carry out their function. And of course the enforcement is related to them. Nigerian Custom today, you cannot bring somebody other than Nigerian Custom to the enforcement in that regard, because he's the one that has obtained training in that regard. Similarly, the VIOs have their own professional training, and it's only VIOs who are trained in that regard that can be able to carry out that enforcement appropriately. And that is what the public need to be told.
Okay, yeah, once we said that your talk and explanation has been centered around impounding of vehicle and of course generating revenue. So what we want to ask is, VIO only out to impound or vehicle to maximize revenue for the government?
No, the primary function of the agency is to ensure that every vehicle that plies the road have an identification.
Okay.
That is what is called registration and licensing.
Okay.
Identification means that the features of every vehicle must be identified and then registered with a name, and that name is the identification mark, which we call the plate number. The vehicles that are also plying the road has to be in good condition. We don't want rickety vehicles on the road. If vehicles are not in good condition as prescribed by the law, the tendency that we have several accidents on daily basis is certainly obvious. The drivers who are also going to ply the road, we ensure that all those drivers are well certified and licensed before they can put their hands on the wheel to drive. And every trade that is associated with vehicular movement, for example, motor dealer, motorcycle dealers, spare parts sellers and all that, has to be properly registered so that people will not be allowed to sell vehicles that are not proper to people. The spare part must be in accordance with standards of Standard Organization of Nigeria and all that. That is why VIO is a member of the technical team for standards in Nigeria. And so many other things professionally meant to provide safety. For example, the vehicular data that we are talking about is needed by all other security agencies to be able to function during investigation or checks. So that's why it is important. It's a mandate that is bestowed on the state to ensure there is appropriate vehicular data that are moving within the territory of the state and even beyond, in case of any investigation or any eventuality. This criminal tendency, remember that more than 90% of crime that can be committed are used by vehicles, and that's why it is important to have proper documentation of vehicles, so that it will enable ease of investigation by us as well as other security agencies.
Okay, now
so it's not all about impounding. Enforcement for compliance is just one of the segments after the main job has been done. Because if you don't enforce, people will definitely not comply, so you will not get the results. And payment of prescribed fee is associated with the functions or the mandate itself, and that is why we generate revenue at the end of the day. The more the concentration of vehicles and the more we're able to ensure that vehicles comply, the more revenues are being generated, which are revenues that are owned by the state, each state of the federation.
Okay, many of vehicular users, motor owners, see VIOs as devils on the road, because each time they see your men on the road, their heart jumps. Don't you have a mechanism of trying to caution people or educate people, or sometimes give them the benefit of the doubt to let them go? Is it all about arrest and enforcement all the times? Do you do that all the times?
Thank you very much for this question. There are a lot of angles that this question can be looked at. We are also used to these questions. Actually, it may not necessarily mean about impounding, but it is very important that the general public know that those payment of prescribed fee are like a tax, which is a civic responsibility, and the government is having limited resources, so it's needed by government. That's why sometimes there are yearly review of what you are likely to generate for the government to meet up, to be able to meet up. And of course, if you give an inch, people will always take a yard. Otherwise, as officers, even though the law has given us the powers to apprehend instantly and enforce compliance, what the law says, impound and enforce compliance immediately as far as vehicle condition and those necessary licenses have not been done. But we can use our discretion as much as possible to enable ease between the enforcers as well as the offenders. And in line with also your question, technologies are coming up that also make it easy. There are places that I know in Lagos, they have started even taking money from people's once you commit an offense, the cameras search you, and the camera is able to have reasonable proof that you have committed the offense. The fine will just be taken from your account, and you will see the offense alert as well as the debit alert.
I hope that technology have not come to Nigeria yet.
No, it has not. It's not here yet. But these are because the reason why you keep on asking questions is because sometimes in the course of doing that, because people don't want to comply. Immediately they see VIOs, some try to jump the gun. Sometimes some people try to reverse, and in view of that, probably accident and all that. And that is not what we wanted. So that's why technology is being deployed to make it easy, to make the process easy. But I want the general public to see VIO as their friends. You can approach a VIO, tell him your conditions, we'll look at it. Sometimes if you are not able to secure that on the road, you can come to the office. I believe a reasonable or substantial number of the public will believe me on what I have just said, that most of the times, even if they come to office, we find an amicable way of resolving the issue, and people comply at their pace. Sometimes the issue of instant enforcement and compliance kept a step aside. We use our discretion as much as possible. VIO is your friend.
It's your friend, just like the police.
Just like the police. So you can always do what is right. Of course, for those who do what is expected of them, they are always allowed to go. It's not everybody that's being apprehended. It's just that the concentration of vehicles are on the rise.
Yes.
And they are always increasing.
Well, we're not actually promoting, flouting the law or going beyond the bounds. But sometimes you realize that when your men are on the roads, probably a car owner or vehicle owner believe that he's a defaulter, and probably he don't have resources to meet up with maybe the charges or that enforcement to go and regularize his papers. You see, either abruptly you make a U-turn to divert, to run away from your men, or sometimes because of doing that, in an attempt for your men to a kind of chase that person, you might end up having a situation of accident or so. What are you doing to curtail that? For somebody who have actually stopped, it means it's afraid of you. So can't you give the benefit of the doubt to say, okay, probably someday it could be a hand?
There is one thing you have mentioned, the issue of chasing somebody. We have tried to reduce that as much as possible.
Very good, because it's causing a lot of life and accidents.
We don't really chase again, because once we pick up your registration number, your data is in our system. Once that vehicle is properly registered, your phone number, the owner, everything is in our database. So if you run, we know your phone number, we know your address. We can, if we want to prosecute you, we can meet you at home and take you.
Okay.
So, but the thing is this: we don't want people to do that. We don't want people to start running. Why would you run? Why should you run? You definitely know that those your action can cause accident. Why do that? It's better if you know you have defaulted. It's better you reasonably submit yourself and probably give your reasons, and your reasons will be looked at. And the best way possible you can be assisted, you could be assisted. I think it's better. That's why we say we are your friend. You shouldn't be afraid.
But if you are our friends or their friends, and probably somebody tried to evade arrest, and you've taken notice of the number, and from your database you realize that you have his phone number, why don't you call to lecture that person on phone and ask him to come, probably so that you'll be more civic to people, so that people can not be dodging you?
We, in terms of lecture, we are doing everything possible to get people lecture. In fact, the driver's license. If you don't have a license, you cannot drive. For those who have come for their driver's license, we lecture them in all ramifications. We use that medium to lecture them in all ramifications that is required of an attitude of a driver, including sometimes seminars and all that. We appear in seminars and give people required information and lectures. But it's just that people simply want to refuse to comply. That's how I view it. If you look at the fund you use in fueling your vehicle, and do you get me? On there, sometimes per week is enough to do a vehicle document for you that will last for 12 months. This same amount per week is enough to do a vehicle document for 12 months. So if you look at it, what is the justification? Sometimes even the repair you effect in your vehicle when there is a little damage or breakdown is far above what is going to do your vehicle document that will license you to ply the road for the next 12 months.
Doctor, I'm afraid we'll have to hold your breath for now. We want to take a little a breather to bring the news flash, and when we are done with that, we'll come back and you continue with explanation.
Okay.
So let's go for a break.
FM. News, News. Get the latest news in Nigeria and the world on Badeggi Radio. We give you the latest update and keep you informed 10 a.m. every morning with News Flash. Keep up with what is happening on the globe with news at 12 noon and get more information with news at 5 p.m. Get all you need to know in one place.
News. A very good morning to you and welcome to Badeggi Radio News Flash. As the world marks International Human Rights Day 2025, analysts have identified reasons why Nigerian human rights record has continued to worsen despite effort by government and civil society to address it. House of Representatives has summoned the Minister of Finance, Wale Edun, and the Minister of Budget and National Planning, Atiku Bagudu, over poor budget implementation. Minister of Transportation has said Al-Khali has threatened to overhaul the rail system due to inefficiency and poor management of the sector. And that's the news flash. Thank you for listening and do stay tuned by 12 noon for the full bulletin.
Badeggi Radio, FM 90.1 megahertz. Live from uphill of Mina City. World affairs at your fingertips. Listen to international analysts from world-class think tanks.
Listeners, you're welcome back to your favorite program, the Badeggi Radio Link. And this morning we are discussing the recent Court of Appeal judgment that bars the VIO from impounding vehicle and of course confiscation of vehicle particulars. And we're having in the studio Dr. Mohammed Dalladi Bako, the Director General, the Director and CEO of Niger State Motor Vehicle Administration Agency, who is actually talking us through on giving us the update and where this area is actually covering. Now, Doctor, in you're explaining, there's one very important thing before we open the phone line. Listeners, later you can join the conversation. You can call into our number 091 38579001, and of course, for those of you following us via our Facebook, you can drop your comment at Badeggi Radio 90.1 MZFM and the comment can be read here. And of course, for those of you following us on our YouTube channel, you can follow us at Badeggi Radio 90.1 TV to drop, to like and comment on your page. So, Doctor, you're talking about, trying to regularize papers now. You'll agree with me that a lot of, car owners or vehicle owners in the states, many have not actually regularized their papers for years now, and due to one reason or the other. It could be due to laxity, it could be as a result of the economic situation of the country, which you all know. Now, do you have, in an attempt to make sure that everybody come to regularize papers so that you can save yourself from being arrested or being delayed on the road, is there any window you have for people as a way of amnesty to come so that all those years of defaulting can have a way of maybe waiving it for them? Because you have done it before in Niger State. I think during the administration of Abubakar Sadiq Tanibelo. Yeah. Yes. Where
we did it in 2017.
Yes.
We gave amnesty. We announced the amnesty, and we gave, and people were allowed to come and renew without paying any arrears.
Yes, many vehicles. And I can tell you, I can testify to that one because I was a victim. Yes. I was a defaulter then. I actually defaulted, and I actually commend the government and the VIO then. So, do you have that window?
Yeah, that can be discussed with the Internal Revenue Service.
It's very important.
Maybe from 2017 to now, is how many years? I don't know. I can't. I think it's about 8 years.
About 8 or 9 years.
When they deem it fit to do. So, but it's always followed by a serious task force, so that people will come after announcing. A time frame will be given for people to come and do on their own.
The reason the reason I'm calling for this is this. You have just mentioned a very, very fundamental issue, very important. You're talking about vehicular identification, getting the data in order to help the security. The country, the state is faced with insecurity now. And most of this insecurity are being carried out by vehicles.
The crimes.
Yeah, the crimes are being carried out using vehicles. And identifying them is very key. So you can be of help to different security agencies. So, and if people have not actually registered their vehicle with data, it will not actually help the security situation. So in an attempt to do that, if you have a window for them so that somebody who is supposed to pay 100,000 naira is coming to pay 10,000 or even less than that, I think
no,
it will change
what the regulations specify, because whatever we do, we do it in accordance with the regulations. What the regulation says is that whenever you default, when you are coming to renew, you pay arrears.
If you pay arrears, but
now the amnesty will only be that probably when you defaulted for 2 years, you only come and pay the current year. So that is an amnesty too. Rather than paying for 3 years, you only pay for 1 year.
I think if you discuss this with the government at the top echelon, so that let's just do something. At least this economic situation. It is unfortunate that some people have defaulted, but that's by doing.
The essence that time is because of the security challenges.
Even now we have security challenges.
We wanted people to come to default. We wanted to have a lot of vehicular registration in default.
We're having more security challenges now than that time.
And we're able to actually bring a lot of vehicles to default of the data net or tax net, if you want to see it. It's both data net as well as tax net, because we're able to bring in people. The state government actually realizes a lot of revenue that time. After a while, it was followed by a tax force who also contributed to a lot of increase in the data net of the state as well as the tax net itself.
So I think probably your agency can submit a memo to the governor. Let's him use his spirit of magnanimity to actually help people, so that the security is what is very important. Not even the generation of revenue per se, but the insecurity is actually.
We'll discuss that with the Internal Revenue Service and see whether how they are going to put it before His Excellency the former governor, who is always magnanimous in affirming or approving such kind of request. So it's something that we'll discuss.
Yes, and I have no doubt in the capacity of the former governor when it comes to that spirit of magnanimity. Yes, actually been even criticized the way he has shown too much magnanimity to people in terms of liberalizing them or helping them in terms of needy. So I hope and pray that this conversation will go a long way. And of course, the former governor will, on his own, come into this issue so that let's have more vehicles being registered to help, help nip the issue of insecurity in the boot. Because, like I said, they use motor machine, kidnap, and all these things, and all these things need to be registered by the VIO. Well, I think at this point in time, we would like to open the phone line to give callers opportunity. Probably they have some questions that they will want to ask, and the director and the CEO of Niger State Motor Vehicle Administration Agency, VIO, is here to actually, clear the air for you of what is in the dark. So let's start to pick the calls. Hello.
Good morning, Usman Apaya.
Good morning, Colonel Ahmed.
Good morning, DG Vehicle Inspection Officer. You are welcome to the studio, sir.
Thank you.
My name is Comrade Ahmed. I'm calling from 123 quarters. I think DG, not quite long, in the sister radio, there's a question, and I'm very certain and satisfied with the answer you give. But because of the sensibility of the question, and for those that maybe that have not followed you in that particular discussion, I still want to repeat the question here, please. As an agency, responsible for generating internal revenue for the government, and with your synergy with the Board of Internal Revenues, please, I want to know for clarity, did you have an official account number that is designated, if possible, with the name of your agency, so that those that are paying their fines, if they are found wanting or want to pay or make registration, we have that account to be paid for accountability and transparency. Please, I want to make a clarity to that again. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, so can we take more questions so that you respond to this?
No problem.
Okay, 0913857900 is not what to call. Hello.
Hello, Simon. Good morning once again.
Good morning, sir.
Directive, you are highly welcome to the studio. This is from Kakongo. Director, I want to still bring to your notice there is need for the VIO and likewise Civil Ministry of Transport to reintroduce the color coding, because we don't have color coding in Niger State anymore. You can see most of the vehicles now, they use it in terms of commercial, doesn't have color coding. If you go to other states, you can see they have color code. So any other vehicle being used in commercial purposes, you see it in those vehicles with color coding. The reverse is the case in Niger State. That is one. Secondly, Director, you can see most of our vehicles being used in Niger State. Most of them close they used to close their plate number. I don't know for what purpose. How will somebody be using private vehicle and decided to cover his plate number? So there is need for the VIO to arrest those people covering plate number. My last take is on tricycle. The young boys riding tricycle. I don't know what VIO are doing about that. That's my take.
Thank you very much. 0913857900 is the number to call, and of course, during the conversation, we are discussing the appeal court judgment banning the VIO from impounding cars and confiscating vehicle licenses, and we're having in the studio the Director General and CEO of Niger State Motor Vehicle Administration Agency, who is actually doing justice to some of the question. Hello. Hello. We can hear. We can hear. I can hear you.
Okay, let me.
Okay. Good morning.
Yes, I just want to make a contribution, and I want.
Okay.
Please, can you hear me?
Can hear you.
Yes. The topic we are discussing is already in the purview of within the knowledge of the Nigerian populace as to how VIO are being limited by the new appeal judgment. So I think that one of the problems is that you see that people are celebrating it. Why they are celebrating it is that sometimes when people are given this kind of assignment, they relate with the public in a manner that they are not happy with their attitude. So the attitude of some of these VIO on the highway calls for questions. I think part of the thing they should be doing is to do human relation, because they are going to relate with the public, and in relating with the public, it is very important. And another thing is that they call it vehicle inspection officers. Most of the time, they are more particular. They are more interested in the the particulars, rather than looking at the vehicle itself. You don't have trafficator. You don't have indicator. You don't have so instead of them coming out and say, let me see on your light, trafficate this way, do this, do that. I think their assignment is more of roadworthiness of the vehicle than any other thing. But these days, what they are interested in, generating revenue for the government, for themselves. And this calls for why people are jubilating. Of course, we know their usefulness in the vehicle management. So they should find a way of making sure that they are giving training on human relation. It's not all the time you find a shortcut. You see them finding a shortcut of getting, and you see a vehicle. That has violated the rules of road. Vehicle maintenance issue. You see it. That one they will allow it to pass. You see another person, they will stop it. So all these things contribute to what it is causing the problem and why people are happy. But they will go back, like he has explained, to standardize their law as to be domesticating whatever it is, because I don't think there is a federal VIO. It's a state VIO you have. So the state VIO should be able to have their law and do it within the control of the what is acceptable to the people, because they are dealing with people. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that one. Yes.
Let me respond to the last caller. Talking about our law, standardization of our law. We already have a standardized law, which is Niger State Law number 18 of 2021, a law to establish an agency for motor vehicle administration and for all other matters connected thereto. I have read sections that empowers the officers of the agency to impound and confiscate and put off the road rickety vehicles that are flying through, and so many other sections that enable us to cover the entire state. All has been read in the studio. Regarding what we said, our name, there is also one section that our name, the old name has been Vehicle Inspection Officer, but in our new law, in order for people to probably have more clarity, our new law have defined the ranks of the officers as Chief Road Traffic Officer. We have Director, Chief Executive, Deputy Director, Assistant Director, Chief Road Traffic Officer, Assistant Chief Road Traffic Officer, rather than calling Vehicle Inspection Officer. Our new law has probably expanded to be Road Traffic Officer. And however, when you say vehicle inspection, vehicle inspection covers a lot of things. Inspection for ascertainment of vehicle, inspection for checking of vehicle document, inspection to check if there are for detection of criminal hideouts of maybe dangerous weapons inside vehicles, inspection for traffic offenses, inspection for all. So when you say vehicle inspection, generally it means checking of anything that is wrong with vehicular use. It could be the use and construction. Probably this vehicle is meant to carry 5 persons, but you are even using it to carry 6 persons and even load. This is abuse of the use and construction of the vehicle according to manufacturer. So inspection actually covers, the name vehicle inspection covers a lot. And you've said that we should try and effort is checking trafficators, the condition of vehicle rather than checking the